Well, after last week's episode didn't feature that many women, at least until the last 30 minutes of the show, WWE officials said, okay, you want more women, you get plenty of women in the opening segment, you get 2 women's matches, and you get the women involved in an 8-person tag. If you want more women, well, you're probably going to have to start your own promotion because this is the best we can do. But alrighty, I'm John Recton with my review of WWE Raw from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. I always call it Norfolk because that's just how I am. Nevertheless, let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please. And this review is coming up hours later because I had to cover a shift. Them's the breaks. That happens. That sweet, sweet dollar. That paycheck is very, very important. So, yeah, in the Scope. A very, very popular venue for professional wrestling, going back to the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even into the 90s. I mean, maybe just the 70s. I actually don't know when the Scope actually was built. I know when the Super Scope 6 came out, because that was a really, really bad idea from Nintendo. I don't know what they were thinking. Anybody remember the Super Scope 6? It was rubbish. So, the first hour is commercial free. And they certainly did the best they could to keep the pace up. We got multiple brawls within the first 30 minutes. Okay, we'll see you this weekend at the Royal Rumble. But that being said, on the road to the Royal Rumble, we're about 2 months away. I'm going to say right now, just open up the entire Alamo Dome. Just open it all up. Open it all up. Because they are selling a whole lot of tickets. They sold over 30,000 because I think they only had set up at half capacity. And the dome seats, what, 67,000? There's a friend of mine in San Antonio that could probably tell me actually how much its seats because he was at the 1997 Royal Rumble event. And nevertheless, the Bloodline, they are arriving. They are in your titty. I may have misinterpreted one of those. I think the word was in. Yeah, that's it. So they are just all happy, but we get to hear from them later. Becky Lynch in all leather. Everyone's fine. Everyone's fine. Everyone is not fine that the man is back. The man has come around. Anyway, I'm sorry. Becky, she seemed genuinely happy. She was great as a heel for a while. After coming back at SummerSlam last year and being, basically being a full-fledged heel very soon after that, she, had that separated shoulder, came back, was able to avoid surgery, and this is good. This is good that she's able to be out there and be genuinely happy. There's no doubt she could go back to being a heel at some point, but for now it makes sense. And I will say to Steve Patrick, Kevin Patrick, I will use his Christian name, but after Kevin said, I don't like that your name's Kevin, change it, Kevin Owens, that is, I keep calling him Steve Patrick, and it's just stuck because I'm weird like that. He seemed extra motivated, at least for a while. I think he maybe was a little too exuberant, but it certainly beats the fact that he sounded kind of flat and just out of it at times. Anyway, Becky is up. She's happy to be back. She says, I'm going to go out and talk to the people. So she talks to a man named Bobby that's in an X-Men hoodie. Says, oh, I love Bobby. He loves X-Men. And that was cool. There was a kid that was having the time of his life. And then she talked to a man named Zachary that I think was about 6 cups in. If Zachary happens to be watching this, if you weren't toasted, I really would like to know if that's how you normally act. Anyway, nevertheless, he was very, very exuberant. Almost overly exuberant. And she's all happy, all out there. Becky's out there among the people. She's not more than maybe 100 feet from the ring. And here's Bayley, also in leather and limping. Maybe she took out those pants a little bit. She could breathe better and move better because, and that's not knocking. That's not me knocking appearances or anything, but it's like she has a bad knee and that probably didn't help. It was probably restricting blood flow. But 2 very, very talented and very attractive women at the same time in all leather. I mean, come on, this is the kind of wrestling we all enjoy. This is the kind of wrestling I usually have to pay a premium price to watch. Always delete your search history, by the way. And they argue over Bob. They are fighting over shampoo. What did Bob do to deserve that? And Becky suddenly sees that Dakota and Io are trying to make the Shield entrance. Dun, 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 dun. But they're trying to walk down the steps, and then they walk down the steps, and then Bayley joins them, and we get 3 women fisting a ginger Irish woman in the Norfolk Scope News at 10. And they battle out to the concourse, they battle out to the merch table, and one of the merch tables, and they just they start peppering each other with various pieces of merch. I don't know why it made me laugh. Like throwing the plushies, not the plushies. And the stands that are that have the shirts displayed are falling over and everything. And where's security? And then security shows up like 15 seconds later. There they were. Why didn't you just wait 15 seconds? But anyway, nevertheless, this was good. I mean, yes, they've done these show opening brawls and stuff like this and whatever, but this at least made sense because Becky wants revenge on Damage Control, even though you would have thought she would have gotten it, and that's what she thought with War Games. No, obviously it's not done. And if you're going to give us Becky versus Bayley as a holdover, possibly build it to the Rumble, I'd be all for that. Honestly, I would love to see that. Or even have them both in the Rumble. In fact, I think you should have them both in the Rumble. I think it's almost a lock that Becky is going to take on Rousey the Raccoon. And I'm going to keep calling her that because that's stupid makeup, which looks terrible. It would look terrible no matter who it was, but it looks extra terrible on Rousey the Raccoon. It's going to be Becky versus Ronda, and Becky is going to have to herniate every disc in her body and every nerve in her soul to get something good, or at least passable, out of Ronda. So anyway, all right, then we're all cooking. We're cooking. Here's Rhea. Speaking of cooking, holy shit, she looked great in that outfit. And then here's Dominic. And goddamn it, I suddenly lost interest. I know some people like the Dominic's a sniveling heel. That's great. Good. You can like that. He is terrible in the ring. He is really, really bad in the ring. He also shouldn't be a luchador. He should be more ground-based and stuff like that. Him trying to do a frog splash, it literally looks like, I don't know, like a crocodile trying to do a belly flop or whatever. So it's Michin Mia Yim. It's crazy in Korean. Can't you just call her Mia Yim? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with Mia Yim? Why do you have to add a stupid name? I mean, I'm not saying that it's a stupid word. It just doesn't blend. I mean, if she's happy with it, then whatever. I'm just a fan. If she's not happy with it, or if they just decide, hey, we're going to shoehorn this on you just for marketing, it's not very good marketing. It doesn't roll off the tongue. It doesn't pass the name test, pal. So anyway, it's Rhea versus Mia Yim. Dominic's there, and look, Rhea in that gear, sweet Christ, just she has that star quality. Mia also doing well since coming back, and they cut a good pace here. Mia giving her 2 DDTs, Rhea dominating her and just pulling on her hair and just yelling at her, and then just preparing to step on me. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. She just kept pulling on another woman's hair and just grinding down on her and everything, and I swear I'm going to start talking about wrestling at one point. We just get the usual back and forth. We get some good stuff here. And they go, and since it's commercial free, they kept going. Dominic kept interfering. AJ runs in because Dominic wouldn't get out of the ring, and AJ was there, and he attacks Dominic. We have a DQ. Then here are the rest of the Judgment Day and the Good Brothers, home of the Good Brothers. May we take your order? And oh boy, we'll see you this weekend for the Royal Rumble. Then Styles says, hey, let's just end it tonight. 4-on-4. So they have a match. It's Judgment Day versus the OC. Yay! This feud will never end. It will go on and on, my friend. Was it good? Sure, it was a good match. Did I care? No, I didn't. Sorry. This is where we're going to save time. We get a melee, and then we get the Riptide. 1, 2, 3. Mia Yim slamming Balor was kind of cool before that. So yeah, Rhea covers Mia just like she knows exactly what she's doing. And come on, who doesn't love to watch Rhea, this strong, powerful, talented, beautiful woman, this beautiful Amazon. If me next snoo, out me way. That's what everybody thinks. If you've seen Futurama, if you haven't, that line is deeply confusing to you. But yeah, she gets the cover, and there you go. Ensuring this feud will continue. God, this feud will never... this has not been... No matter the talent that's in the ring, this has not clicked. There were parts... There have been parts of this whole thing that have been fine, but the OC Judgment Day thing is it's we need Edge back. We need Edge back for his one final run. The Street Profits are back, and then they're taking on Alpha Academy, and they do bad comedy. Very bad comedy. They say Gable is like the elf on a shelf. At least they've never done a gimmick where they've knocked Gable's height. Oh. That's just what you want to fucking do. Let's mock Gable for his height. Let's call out the obvious. Oh, but he's a heel. It's okay. Yeah, it didn't work for him as a face. It's not going to make him be credible as a heel or make him angry as a heel. And also, Gable keeps taking pins. I think Gable took 3 pins during this whole backstage segment somehow. Now, the Bloodliner here, they talk about War Games. Sammy is all in on this. That's going to make the inevitable betrayal. Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal. It's gonna make so many people sad. I'm gonna laugh because I'm a cruel son of a bitch, but that's just me. And here's Owens. I did like how Corey said, "Damn it, Kevin," and Kevin Patrick was right next to him. So Kevin was probably like, "Me, Kevin, or he, Kevin." But anyway, here's Owens, and he says, "I know why you did what you did, Sammy. Because how many times have I stabbed you in the back? Well, there you go. But I've known how great you were for 20 years. I don't want to be in the same building. I don't even want to be. I want to be around you. Okay, but you're in the same building as him. You literally work in the same room. I don't even want to be in the same room as you, but you literally work in the same company. You're gonna eventually, whatever." He's done with him and says, "I said I was done with you, but I'm not done with anybody else. How about this, Jay? How about we?" And Jay's like, "Oh, you have a problem with Sammy. You have a problem with me. We'll have a match later." Okay. And then we're gonna get recaps of last month, or about 5 weeks ago, when Candice got written off of television because she got injured. Hands up if you forgot that Candice came back to the company. Hands up if you didn't care that Candice came back for the company. Candice is back. Kathy, Kelly, my goodness. That is a great interviewing outfit. Just great. I am so happy that Kathy Kelly is back, and her front ain't bad either. Hey, oh no, in all seriousness, Kathy, just, my goodness, she looks great. Alright, so she interviews Candice. Candice then takes the mic. "I'm gonna get revenge," or whatever she said. I don't care. Nothing against Candice, I just don't care. So, Elias and Riddle talk. They want a tag title shot, so the Bloodline show up, and they said, "Anytime, any place." That was a Janet Jackson song, wasn't there? If any of them, try to recreate that Janet Jackson video, I am going to burn the WWE. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to hope the stock drops more. So, the Profits take on Alpha Academy. I'm going to say the same thing every time that Alpha Academy wrestles, well, before, and that I'm going to say now. Please, Gable, just pull a Jeff Jarrett at Bash at the Beach 2000. Lay down. Just lay down. Save yourself time. Gable's never going to be taken seriously. He's never going to be taken seriously. It's a damn shame that Jason Jordan got injured. Because I think him and Jason Jordan would have been a hell of a team. And honestly, Jason Jordan, Gable, and Otis as a trio might have been fine. So anyway, yeah, oh boy, Gable took the pin. Alright. Oh boy, Theory is a new U.S. champion. Be still my beating apathy. Look, they are trying to rehab the image, and I get it. He was a Vince project, but Triple H sees something in him. They have to get him away from the briefcase. I get all that. Here's the problem. He's still Theory, and he's still boring. Was he a little more focused here? Sure. Are they bound and determined to push him? Sure. Do I give one goddamn bit of a shit about him? No, not really. Not really. And then suddenly, a question popped into my head. Where was the B-Blade video? Remember that? Played at Survivor Series, which was hilarious. And then, whoa, it's Seth Pheasant Rollins. I probably would have opened with a Seth Pheasant Rollins type intro, but it is late. I am tired, and also this episode was starting. While there were good parts of this episode, it was starting to drag just a little bit. First hour, though, pretty good. Anyway, he tells Theory, it's like, "Congratulations, kid." And then we get a challenge for later on the champ's time. And then whoa. So WWE investigates. We see recap package, Byron doing stuff. And I have nothing against Byron, but no, this Dexter Lumis, Miz, and Gargano shit has been, well, shit. That's why I called it shit. So there you go. Miz has a bag of money and an injured hand. Pierce, who is suddenly back in charge of the company, at least as an on-air authority figure, though he hasn't really been seen all that much lately, says, and I know I believe he had something going on when the Hurricane Ian, I think is what it was, it hit Florida. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name. I know he had issues with his house, or at least not being able to get out, so hopefully he's all right. Hopefully that's all rectified. But he's just suddenly back. Yeah, Miz, you're going to compete. You're going to compete whether you want to or not. By the way, Miz has the bag of money in a purse. It looks like he picked up at Kohl's. In fact, I think I remember unpacking purses like that when I worked at Kohl's a number of years ago. If it hadn't been for going back to Kohl's for a second stint, by the way, even though I hated the company, I wouldn't have met Chris, aka the Turbinator, aka my best friend. So hooray for retail experiences that lead to best friends for life. Anyway, Dexter takes on Miz in an anything goes match. If Dexter wins, he gets a WWE contract. Now, I know that Dexter wrestled in NXT for a while, and I know that he's been gone, and I'm sure they had that Titantron on file. But if he needs to become a WWE talent, and he has to win this match to become that, why does he get a Titantron? Why does he get a Titantron? Little logic loophole. Speaking of loopholes, I was looking for every loophole and every reason to not care about this match. And I didn't have to look far, because I didn't give a shit. I have not cared about this feud one goddamn bit. There are people who like it. They do a bunch of shit, and then we go to break, and then we come back, and Miz somehow has a vice, and he's screwing it onto Loomis's head. But Loomis will not stay down from the vice. They battle into the crowd. They battle to a table, and Loomis does an elbow drop to Miz through the table, carries him back to the ring. And eventually, even though we get a buckle pad spot, and we get like a 2 count with the feet on the ropes, we get the silence, and he wins it, and Dexter gets the bag of money and pulls an Andre the Giant at Mania 1 and starts handing out the money. He hands it out a little more graciously and a little more properly, handing out a bill. He hands out $100 to kids. Okay, that's cool. Whatever. But then Miz steals the bag, and then Gargano runs out from the back and kicks him, and then they have the money, and then Gargano hands $100 to another kid. 20 minutes of television. Weeks dedicated to this fucking bullshit feud. Yeah. This was stupid. This is bad. Gargano cannot do comedy, and Loomis deserves better than this. And I don't know what they're doing with Miz. But this is going to lead to Indy and Dexter and Indy against Miz and Maurice at the Rumble. I bet you it's gonna. We gotta get Indy out of NXT. It's just a shame that her first high-profile match on the main roster would be against Maurice. So anyway, recaps of the women fighting in the opening of the show. Speaking of women fighting, Candice and Dakota Kai had a match. And about 15 minutes later, Candice won with a neck breaker off the ropes. It wasn't that it was bad. Candice can work. Dakota, I really like. I just have no reason to care about Candice as an individual. But you know what? Candice attacked her during the break and did all that stuff and then won with the aforementioned neckbreaker. There we go. Rumble plug. Just open up the whole dome, as I said. Survivor Series recaps. Kathy Kelly, my goodness. Great interview outfit. Great. Seriously, great. Please dress like that on WWE television more. Bianca, Asuka, and unfortunately Alexa are here, and Alexa's all far off and weird and everything, and great, we're doing more of this Bray stuff. You know, that stuff that nearly led me to abolishing WWE programming from my channel. I nearly just said, that's it, I'm not going to review WWE programming, it's not good television. And we're going back to this. Once Alexa goes dark and goes for a shot against Bianca and loses. Because we're aiming for Bianca and Rhea at Mania, which should be the goal, and Alexa has no business being champion. So anyway, then we get Kevin Owens and Jey Uso with the Bloodline, and we get Owens having to fight 4-on-1, selling his back after doing a senton and Jey getting the knees up. And even though Jay's got a cast on his hand, we get a melee. Solo pulls Owens' legs out from under him. He hits the apron, the hardest part of the ring, by the way. And Splash misses, and Stunner, 1, 2, 3. Owens powders out, and then we go to black, because they were literally just about there with the time. So there you go. Next week, barring unforeseen circumstances, I should be able to review Raw Live. If I have to cover another shift, I do apologize in advance. Hopefully, things will get a little more back to normal as December rolls on and into the rest of the year, or into, well, next year and everything, because we don't have much of 2022 left. The show was fine. It was what it was. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.